Hi, welcome once again to Starseed Rising 333. I'm glad you've tuned back into my channel. And if it's your first time, welcome. I would like to thanks once again to all my supporters, my subscribers, my viewers, anyone who have taken the time to watch my videos, my readings out on YouTube. If you've left comments, click the like buttons, subscribe, whatever you did is much appreciated and it does help the channel. My topic today is called They Should Not Be Angry Because You Chose to Walk Away. And if you do enjoy this video, please don't forget to click the like button, subscribe or share, or just leave a comment. The reason why I wanted to discuss this topic is because when I do my readings or listen to my other, uh, I should say, members of my soul tribe, all right, who do readings like myself, a lot of the message that keeps coming out all the time is that whether it's a past lover or business friend, um, either or also I should say members of the family, okay, that if you're on a spiritual path, all right, or if you're on a religious path, okay, you might resonate this to this, okay, that what it is that you may feel okay, or there might be a backlash because you've decided, all right, that you no longer um want to be all right in the same religion as everyone else, or maybe your beliefs might then end up being different from another person. Okay, it could be a friend, a relative, a lover, husband, all right. And I just think it was important, and I was also guided by my team to just discuss this because I think a lot of the times when these things happen is because most of the time, all right, people don't understand, okay, they don't understand what it is or what it's like, all right, when you sort of like heed the call, okay, or answer the calling, or you had some form of spiritual awakening, okay, or you had a tower moment that led you, all right, to change uh you yourself, or the way you behave, or also like to do some form of spiritual work. All right. So I just wanted to just go into details, at least step by step, so you could understand, okay, what happens, the process. All right. And so yeah, so this is the reason why I decided to discuss this. All right. Now, as I said before that, I just want to just tell anyone, okay, who is watching this, who might be connected to someone, okay, who is somehow on their, maybe they've joined another religion or they're on some form of spiritual path. I just want to just explain to you, first of all, I just do not want you to be angry. If you're one of those individuals that are angry with someone who has done that, all right? Now, what I first want to do is just to explain, all right, what the meaning of resurrection is, because a lot of people, okay, think that resurrection, the term, the spiritual term or religious term, um, which is very much mentioned, okay, in the Holy Bible, okay, the meaning of resurrection, okay, doesn't mean, okay, like you dying and then like judgment day will arrive, okay, and then everyone who dies, they will suddenly raise up again, all right, judge, all right, out there, or you would rise up from the dead, all right, and then if you do good, all right, then you, for some reason, you're going to live forever in new earth, right? The true meaning of resurrection, okay, it means sort of awakening, okay, from a dead state spiritually, okay. It's all to do with the mind, okay, it's all to do with the mind. All right. And what it is, all right, this resurrection, it just basically means some form of spiritual awakening. That's what it means. Because a lot of the times, okay, you might, even if you consider yourself to be spiritual religious, or just religious, okay, a lot of you out there, okay? Because even I myself was in that position where, even though I was like somebody who acknowledged God, I wasn't joined a certain religion, okay, even converted to another religion, okay. But a lot of the times we may think, okay, that we know it all or know everything, but there are times. But to be honest with you, even from my own experience, okay, I was brought up as a Catholic, all right. At one point, I even joined the Jehovah's Witness organization. But you know what? I must say that I didn't know it. I'm not knocking anyone, all right, who belongs to a religious group, all right. But I'm just talking about from my own experience, okay. I must admit, even though in my previous videos I said that I am a Muslim, also a spiritualist as well, but I'm telling you now that I know I have a better connection with the Most High now. I know who He is. I know I just have that real personal relationship with the Most High. Okay, I feel more at peace with myself. All right, I've learned to accept myself, and I have a very good relationship, a good connection with the Most High, which I never knew. Because most of the times, a lot of the times, when you are in a religion, all right, or some other cult, or other organization, sometimes we do what other people tell us to do. All right. And it's not until I actually heeded the call, all right, I had some form of spiritual awakening, then I decided that I want to take this path, all right. But it's been a personal journey, all right. It's a personal journey for me. It doesn't mean that I don't have members of my soul tribe, all right, or I don't listen to other religious leaders. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just telling you from my experience what it was like for me to hear the call and what I have been experiencing ever since. All right. So, as I said again, all right, answering the call, okay, happens when the spirit of truth comes to an individual. Okay. And this person becomes awakened, okay, or um, has some uh, form of tower moment, okay, some form of moment, all right. And in biblical terms, all right, it is described as the shock of the hour, the shock of the hour, okay. And unfortunately, that could result in some type of loss. It could be to do with money, a job, okay, a home, all right, or even unfortunately the loss of a loved one, all right. And then when you experience that, then you're then put in the valley of decision, okay, the valley of decision. And that is also mentioned in the Holy Scriptures as well. I believe it's somewhere in Jeremiah's Zechariah. All right. And then, okay, so once you've had that tower moment, all right, awakening, then what normally happens, all right, then you now are put into a position. Okay, it could be to do with yourself, it could be to do with a group of people, it could be to do with something that happens or is happening at your workplace. It could be to do with something happening to or with between you and a family member or family members. All right, it could even be something to do with your partner. All right. And then what happens, all right, then you now need to make that decision, okay, because the spirit of truth has come to you. All right, you're finally awakening. All right. And then what happens is that you are now put in a position, okay, whether you want to change your life, all right, around, okay, or if you want to remain who you are, okay, or where you are. all right? And if you don't want to change, all right, or heed the call, because this spiritual wake or tower moment, that is coming from the spiritual realm, okay? It's coming from the higher power, the divine, all right, your spiritual team. And then what that happens, all right, then you need to decide what you want to do, if you want to heed the call or not, okay? And to be honest with you, it's really down to your, what is it, if you really want to, because the thing is, another thing I would just want to explain is that the creator, the higher power, the divine, I call him Allah, okay, because I'm a Muslim, all right, and that's something, as I've said in my previous videos, I've discovered. I didn't convert to Islam, okay, it's something that I learned. I learned that Islam was the original faith that was given to man by Allah, okay, and I just decided to call myself a Muslim because of this, all right? But at the end of the day, these are just names, all right? Because all the great men of the Bible, whether it's Abraham, Noah, Lot, or even like Jesus, Jesus was never a Christian or Jew. But these are just names that was just given down the line due to man-made religion. Okay, so what the thing is with the Most High, with Allah the Creator, okay, He loves everyone. It doesn't matter what you do or who you are, He loves everyone. All right, and it doesn't matter whether it doesn't have got nothing to do with gender, sex, race. All right, it just doesn't matter. He loves everyone. God is universal. Okay? God is in everyone. All right? God is in everyone. He's all around. All right? So that is something that you need to remember. All right? And what he wants to do, he wants to give everyone a second chance. You know, he really, and that is the reason why Jesus came. All right? He came to save the world of sin and to give us a second chance so we can all gain salvation from the Most High through him. All right? The Most High, he wants everyone to have a chance to have everlasting life. And this is the reason why, okay, these tower moments happen. It's for you to wake up, okay? Wake up, heed the call, and change your life. Okay, that's one. And, you know, the Most High, okay, he loves us so much, you know, that he's a very, very patient God. He is very, very patient, very loving, very patient. He wants the best for us, you know. And sometimes, you know, if you are someone who don't want to change, who don't want to heed the call, okay, what's the Most High would have, out of love, just like when you know, you have children and a child keeps misbehaving, but time and time again you keep forgiving this child, okay, even though you know you keep telling them don't do this, you know, don't do this all the time, and this child keeps doing the same thing. And it's the same thing that Allah the Creator is doing. He's doing to mankind. He's doing the same thing. And you know, you as an individual, if you keep making the same mistakes, you know, all the time, and then you're experiencing, um, you know, a lot of tower moments, a lot of things happening, and you don't understand why these terrible things are happening. You know, you probably thinking, oh, you might even say, oh, why is life unfair? Why is life treating me this way, and so forth. It's all because of, it's almost like it's almost like a bit like a, I would say like a red flag, but it's a sign from the universe telling you, look, we are trying to offer you this. We're trying to offer you a chance to change your life, to have everlasting life. Basically, it's almost like the universe trying to offer you a cup of love. All right. But you know, it's not, we cannot just rely on our spiritual team, the higher power alone, you know. But what's about us? We need to play our part. Okay, the Most High has done a lot for us. You know, the greatest gift of all He's given to us is our life. Okay, the life. So the last thing, you know, all the last thing, you know, that you know we can turn around and say that life is unfair. Why is life unfair? No, life is not unfair. It's all to do with the choices and decisions that we make. You know, God is not he's not a terrible God. He's not. But if you are someone, it's at the end of the day, it's all to do with energy. Okay, and this is and what we put out is so important what we do, because everything we do, all right, is all recorded in the book of life. Okay, in the book of life. So it just depends on your intentions, all right, and what energy you put out there. Because karma, this word karma, okay, there is people say they usually describe if you do something bad or you receive or you misfortune something because of what you do, they usually describe it as karma. Okay, and if you try and do good, all right, what is returned to you, they usually describe it as um dharma. All right, but I like to just use the word karma. But at the end of the day, your fate is in your hands. It's all to do with the choices and decisions that you make. All right, and there is a saying. All right, even though different religions they say the term or the verse differently, but what you sow is what you reap. Okay, you have to remember that if you plant bad seeds, receive um you're going to receive bad fruit, basically. All right, but if you plant good seeds, then you'll receive, okay, you'll have a good harvest. So it's all to do with, and again, and we mustn't ignore, especially if you are aware of, as I've said before in my previous videos, in some of my videos, okay, about karmic or astrology, especially if you were to read about karmic astrology, because you see, everything in the universe, they all work together. All right, they all work together. All right, and this is why you have what they call um karmic astrology. Karmic astrology, okay, is all to do with the planetary transits, the changes. Then you have the moon phases, cycles. All right, and they all can have an impact on whatever we do, whatever we do. And if you are on a spiritual, especially if you're on a spiritual path, all right, that's why most people who are on a spiritual path, they have like or they try and find out information about a birth natal chart. Because if you have a birth natal chart, you can then check to see, like when the planets, especially if they when they go into retrograde, how it's going to affect you. You can study like what placements you have in your chart and so forth. It's very, very important. You know, I would say, all right, that, and this is something that a member of my soul tried. She said that, it's very important to have a birth natal chart, because a birth natal chart is almost like a passport. It's almost like a passport. And if you have a birth natal chart, you know about karmic astrology, you know about the universal laws, you know about spiritual laws, you will do your best to be in alignment, okay, in alignment with the universal and spiritual laws, so that when these planets and whatever is happening, the moon cycles and everything, you know that these things are not going to affect you. You will feel the effect, but it won't be as bad. All right, it's very, very important. And I actually did a video on my channel regarding karmic astrology. All right, so please check it out when you do have the time. All right, as well as I also do readings as well. So please check them out when you have time. Okay, but it's very, very important, And another thing that you need to remember, that we only have one life. Okay, we only have one life. All right, and this is the reason why, one of the main reasons why Jesus sacrificed his life, as I said, all right, is that to give us that opportunity to change, our ways, so that we can become better versions of ourselves. All right, and the whole point of the awakening, okay, is that as Jesus said of 2,000 years ago, he says, you shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Okay, will set you free. Okay, now life's journey, okay, should be having, as I said earlier in my previous video, a personal relationship with the Creator. Okay, it should be about love, self-discovery, self-acceptance, spiritual growth, learning and sharing one's experiences, healing any trauma or pain you may have suffered or experienced, and to bring closure with forgiveness. Okay, it's also about breaking away, okay, from old ideas, thoughts, and behavioral patterns passed down or imposed on us, okay, through either tradition, culture, or religious practices which are connected to ideologies, philosophies, and teachings, okay, mainly of white supremacy. Okay, now it's also about clearing ancestral debts, okay? Um, Also healing the family bloodline as well, okay? Because this is why you have this spiritual term is called generational curse breaker. Okay, so when you heed that call or have that awakening, all right, then, and because also the journey should be a healing journey, okay, and it's something that is ongoing, okay, because life is ongoing, and while as you start to heal yourself, move away from these toxic behaviors and things like that, you're also because by healing yourself, you're also healing your lineage as well. All right, so that's the whole point. The journey should be about love. It should be about self-love. Should also be about love for one another, okay? Because Jesus of 2,000 years ago, he left two main commandments, which he said was above the ones that was given to Moses, okay? And it was to love God with all your heart, mind, spirit, okay? And another one was to love thy neighbor as you love yourself, okay? And to do unto others as you would like others to do unto you. All right, so it was all about love. And if you were to um see any pictures of Jesus, if you notice that he always had his heart exposed, okay, because Jesus was all about love. All right, and this is what the journey should be, whether you are religious, spiritual, or not. That's what it should all be about. It should all be about love. All right, and also is I also wanted to mention another thing is that when you answer the call, all right, or the calling, you will not only learn a lot, okay, about yourself, but you, as I said earlier, that you become a better person, okay, because as one of my members of my soul tribe says, how can you um expect somebody, all right, to know you if you don't know yourself? So it all starts with you. It's all to do with self acceptance, okay? And it's also about stepping into your personal power, okay? Being self sufficient and not codependent. Some of you might not know, all right, that codependency, okay, can be uh of generational curse. Okay, codependency is a generational curse. All right, by continually being dependent on somebody else to do for you what you can do for yourself. All right, so it's all about being self-sufficient. All right, being your own boss, not being a people's pleaser, moving away from karmic loveless relationships. All right, which is like a never ending story. Okay, it's all about moving away from those karmic energies and behaviors that are not good for you. Okay, and it's not good for your mental, physical, emotional, all right, and spiritual being, okay, as a whole. Okay, because at the end of the day, as I've said earlier, we are, in my previous videos, we are all spiritual beings having a human experience. Okay, we are all worthy, we are all worthy, and we all have a life purpose and have the right to be loved, to be happy, free, all right, and to be creators of our own reality. That is the purpose here, all right? Taking responsibility for our own life and being accountable for the decisions and actions that we make. All right. So it's very important to know that, because as I've said earlier before, that our fate is in our hands, destiny is in our hands. Destiny is the end result of how we choose to live our life. Okay, and that is why you have, like, if you are somebody who likes or enjoy watching readings, okay, or if you do readings, all right, you will notice on the tarot, the traditional tarot, you got the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune, okay, card in tarot is the destiny card. But again, where do you want to be? Do you want to remain at the bottom all the time, or do you want to keep being at the top? You have, that's it, at the end of the day, it's your choice. What is it you want to do? Okay. And another thing is that you need to be in control of your life. Okay, you need to be in control of your life, change your mindset, and do what is right in order for you to experience happiness, joy, more love. All right, at the end of the day, it's all up to you. What is it that you want to do? Okay, so if you are a viewer, okay, who's who's watching this, okay, okay, I'm angry about someone who have heed the call or answered the calling, okay, and somehow you feel rejected or abandoned by this person, or it could be a group of people. Just, it just depends on your situation. Don't be angry, even, or don't feel somehow have some form of resentment, okay, during uh because of this, all right, because of this. What you need to do, okay, because sometimes when this person or this individual, okay, walks away, is because there were lessons. That's another thing, okay, and this is something that I have learned, okay. When somebody walks away from you, especially if this person has answered the calling, or they had some of awakening, or maybe if maybe they say, well, okay, look, I've now, this, obviously you can't tell this person, okay, that the spiritual truth, but you've had some form of awakening. You will know, okay, if you've experienced this thing and you're watching this, you will know, okay. But maybe the other person who you're with, or it could be a friend, family member, business lover, friend, whatever it is, okay, they might not understand, okay. They might not, because they probably, in other words, spiritually still asleep, okay. um and what it is, okay, when, if they say you are the person who doesn't understand why this person had to leave, because you didn't understand what it's like, or what it means, or whatever, this is a chance for you, all right, to take some time out to reflect, do some form of reflection, self-reflection, sorry, okay, on yourself, on that relationship that you have with this individual, or if it's a group of people, all right, and see what lessons, okay, what lessons that had to be learned from this relationship, and see, because remember that it's not always that person, okay. So there could be things that you have done, okay, that caused this person to walk away. So these are things that you need to do. It's very important for us to self-reflect, to do some form of introspection, to find out why certain things happen. But if you, for some reason, you didn't do anything wrong, okay, and this person just said that, I've had a awakening, and I'm going to be answering the calling, and I don't think that this relationship should proceed, then I think that it's very important to understand, okay, the process of what happens to an individual, and what is likely to happen when that occurs. All right. So I just, wanted to explain, to go into like just taking little steps as to going to tell you exactly what it is, what you can what you experience, or maybe that's something you've already experienced. And another thing that is very important, all right, if you feel somehow angry, or there is some form of resentment there towards this person, you need to ask yourself, if somebody or this person was saying to you, look, you shouldn't do this, all right, or should not, because it's detrimental to your health or whatever. You need to ask yourself, especially if you're doing something that is that's affecting you mentally, physically. You need to ask yourself, one of the more the I'm telling you, you need to ask yourself, are you doing these things out of because you hate yourself? All right? Because if you really love yourself, would you do these things? Would you do things not only to hurt yourself, but to hurt somebody else? Because I said before that this journey should be about love. All right? It should be about love. All right? So, that is something that I wanted to discuss, all right, with you. All right? And to um, somehow uh, give you a bit of clarity as to what happens, okay, when maybe you or somebody it doesn't have to be a relative, okay, it could be just like a workmate, all right, it could be a friend, when they have had that awakening, you may not understand it, but others, but I just thought that I was guided to as well to put this video out to just talk about why you shouldn't be angry, okay, if someone has chose, sorry, to walk away from you, okay, someone who has answered the calling. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please don't forget to click the like button, subscribe or share, or just leave a comment. Thank you for watching. See you next time, and goodbye.